Italians. Good to be back and see you again. Today is an exciting day as we are all waiting for tomorrow for the start of the community contribution round, and this is MEA dedicated to that, as we all know. So it's been I would like to update you of what is the status and how we are prepared. So first of all, regarding the email that we promised to send you before this MEA, and we seem to have some technical problems to send it because MailChimp, which we used before that for all our communications by email, just blocked because we are supposedly related to cryptocurrencies. So this is a thing that we just experienced now. This is why you didn't get the email. Sorry for that. And right now our team is looking for the way to do that via other means. So you will get those emails either during this MEA, during the course of this MEA in this hour, or immediately after. But we will do this tonight so that you will be able to see all those emails. I mean, all your data and who is eligible and the tier allocations for the community contribution round, so that you could have easy access to the round and all the data that you need for the participation. So apologies for that. These are the technical problems. We just the frameworks that we were using for all our communications decided that they do not want to support the crypto space, unfortunately. Therefore, we'll have to quickly find another solution, and we will. So thanks for that. But we will do all the communication as soon as possible. So the thing that we will communicate is that all the people who passed the KYC with Synapse last week, so thank you for participating. All people who passed the KYC were whitelisted based on the token balances in the wallet that you have indicated during the KYC process for the AGIX or as DAO balances, depending on what currency was chosen. So about 14% of everybody of the amount of people who passed KYC didn't pass either criteria for the first snapshot or for the second snapshot. And the email that we will be sending shortly will inform exactly about that. Will be sent to people who actually passed all the 3 criteria, and then we'll list all the data that you have indicated during that, so that to participate in the community contribution round. And as we know, this community contribution round will be open tomorrow, 13:00 UTC, on the Singularity DAO Launchpad site. So this will be indicated in the email. And also in the blog post that will sort of describe all the guides. This blog post will be posted, the Singularity DAO Launchpad guide will be posted on Singularity DAO blog. So we'll indicate all those links. So once again, apologize for this kind of mishap. Unfortunately, some part of the world doesn't like the promises of the new economy, or the crypto world. And well, we'll find our way around that. And I think that the time will come sooner than later when well, I wouldn't call these frameworks and the established, let's say, the established space on in terms of economy, let's say, or in terms of how people are trying to fund the projects, or how they are trying to build the projects and the communities. I wouldn't like to compare this to some sort of fight, or to some sort of yeah, probably we can say that it's kind of competition of worldviews. However, so I think, well, how to say, it's not that we will conquer them. I think it will. We will be able to show what kind of potential, and this is what we would like to do, is what kind of potential the crypto space and the Web3 space in general brings. And that it's not, well, it's not something that should be by default kind of should be afraid of. And it makes sense to be in this space by also, and this is what we're trying to do, by observing the ethical standards which are there. And this is why the let's say the established communities or systems or frameworks, this is why they kind of afraid of the new world. They seem to afraid that this new world or new systems which we are building, they are kind of unethical. However, I think this is another way. This is kind of another way around. But we have to demonstrate that, and we are doing that. So yes, this is a kind of short or a small reminder that we have to prove something to the establishment, let's say. Okay, but so to make it short, you will get those emails for other means where our team is working on finding them right now, and either during the MAA or after that, you'll get all the information that is needed to participate in the community round that will start tomorrow, November 17, 1300 UTC, on the SingularityNET Launchpad. So, right, while we are waiting for that, if you would like to look at our Nuna.io webpage, we have just updated it with listing all our partners, which supported us in the private and seed round. So which was just successfully finished, and therefore we now listed all the partners, so you can check them out and yeah, see them. We wanted to do this just before the next round of the Nuna utility token launch starts, to let you know what is the progress. Now also for the just today, a few hours ago, the smart contract for the Nuna utility token was deployed, and the Nuna tokens on the Ethereum blockchain, all the Nuna tokens which we planned to mint on the Ethereum blockchain were minted. which is yeah, I think it's 600. I will not tell the number, but it's something like 73% of all the tokens, and the maximum supply is 1 billion. So the rest of the tokens will be minted on the Cardano blockchain. Could be a few days later, but for sure it will be minted before the token will go public. I mean, before the IDO rounds and before the token contribution, claiming period starts in November 26th. So these are let's say the main points that I wanted to say. One of the sort of important reminder that I would like to just stress is that we have participation as you know, as you read in our blog post, but it's never too much to remind. So we are having participation in the community, in the community around pools, with we're offering participation with USDT stablecoins and with wrapped Ether. So what is important? It's wrapped Ether. It's not Ether. So in order to participate, for those who chose the wrapped Ether to participate, which was as we communicated just this Sunday, was I mean, we expected more based on the experience of our partners SingularityNET. However, most of you chose to participate with the US USDT stable coins. However, people who chose to participate with wrapped Ether, I believe everybody knows, but you cannot participate with Ether. You have to wrap your Ether into the wrapped Ether in order to participate in the community contribution round. Otherwise, it will just not work. You will not be able to contribute. So this is something to take into account and to make it, yeah, to take care of that. Please take care of those things before the tomorrow 1300 UTC, because then the pools will be open, and as we communicated many times, it will be first come first served basis. Therefore, basically, you will not have time to take care of all these things when the pools will be open. So please take care of that beforehand. Otherwise, I think let's say for those who are in the time zone like me in Europe, it will be the middle of the day. I don't think that you need to reserve too much time for that. Yes. So these are basically the main things to say before going to your questions. And if you have any more questions, please ask our community admins in the Telegram channel, and we are happy to help you participate. Yes. So let me go to the questions now, which is first. Thanks for the questions. Maybe I will go one by one from the beginning. How do we proceed to onboard more companies to use Nuna in the future? And yes, before I go to the question, please ask questions. If you have any questions right now, please ask on the YouTube chat, and I will try to also cover them during this, well, the rest of an hour today. How do we proceed to onboard more companies to use Nuna in the future? Why should a company use Nuna instead of Azure or AWS? What's the plan for scaling, and how far away it is? It is. We do not really distinguish companies from individuals. There are computing resources. and they can simply onboard their computing resources onto Nunet and to provide the addresses to which they will want to get compensated by Nunet tokens. So whether it's a company or whether it's an individual, in a sense, we do not discriminate. The only discrimination will be whether Nunet platform is useful for the let's say larger business processes. And that is something that the way to make it useful is to build a larger network, and this is what we are aiming for. And this is what we are now starting to build the team for, based on the results. Let's say the results so far of the token launch process. And yes, so this is how we can onboard more people and more companies and more processes onto Nunet, is to building the larger network and allowing it to scale up and scale down depending on the needs of those computing processes. And why should company use Nunet instead of Azure and AWS? There are quite well. They shouldn't, first of all. However, we believe that we can offer. We are sure that we can offer certain things that other providers like Azure and AWS, which are big, and I mean big doesn't mean necessarily that they're bad in terms, at least in terms of computational power that they have and what kind of services they can offer. However, Nunet will the platform that we're aiming to build will be able to optimize the exact computing resources based on what are the requirements of those computing resources from the algorithm side. So imagine that you will not need, or the application developers will not need to, let's say, hire huge servers in order to run the devices. It will be scalable automatically, and the cost of those hardware devices will also, of course, scale depending on how much computing power it will use. So yeah, so this is one of the, I mean, it's one small, let's say, aspect. And for some, it will be basically something that will define a barrier which will enable to use Nunet rather than Azure or AWS. For some, it may not. Also, for some, the Nunet sourced community hardware devices will be cheaper. For some processes, Nunet sourced community hardware devices will enable to run decentralized computing workflows, which have to be decentralized based on, I mean, due to the business process itself, not due to the fact that it will be cheaper or let's say parallelized, etc. There are certain business processes like IoT or edge cases, use cases where you simply need to have it decentralized. So Nunet will have an angle on that. What's the plan for scaling? And the scaling is, well, we will be able to scale only if to scale based on the community hardware that is onboarded into Nunet, and that community hardware will be onboarded by the community. So basically, that depends on how fast how fast we will be able to build this. Depends on how fast we'll be able to onboard your devices. And this is what I said. This is what we are aiming and what we are working for. Typical customers envisioned. Please describe the typical customers envisioned for the service. private corporate size industry. Well, right now we are looking for the private community, individual community members, so that we could provide a way for people to use the computing power and to be contribute for that computing power, while with full understanding that there will be certain computing workflows that may not benefit that much from these things. But we are now looking for the individual compute power contributors. However, individual doesn't mean small. For example, we are looking for the onboarding GPU clusters, at least next in line that we are thinking. So right, all the other things, let's say the best thing to say, it depends. It depends on the preferences of the community, and community doesn't mean only the compute device owners, but also it means our partners through the SingularityNET who will onboard the algorithms or compute processes, and also application developers. When the airdrop will happen, and will Ledger hardware wallet work for airdrop? So airdrop will happen after the IDO round or the public round. And the public round will happen on 25th of November. We will communicate all the details after that, or close to that date. Regarding all the technical things, as already, as we are doing now, we communicated via the blog post, and we make sure that to provide all this information. Ledger hardware wallet will work. Well, based on my best knowledge, let's say, but as I said, we will communicate all the details in the blog post. With, our team will make sure that all this is described well from the technical point. Well, there are quite a few questions, or quite a few, not even questions, but saying that we don't like fees. We don't like gas fees, or I don't like gas fees, and we also do not like gas fees. So, well, this is the reason that we are building gateways, and we are launching our token also on Cardano, and we are sort of looking forward as soon as possible to build an ability to work on Cardano, and also on since Nuna is a blockchain agnostic, in a sense that the actual workflows will work off-chain. So we're looking for those solutions to make the fees less. And yeah, we also don't like fees. However, this is what we have right now. And as well, yeah, this is what we have right now. And there is no real need to kind of let's say, well, to some extent, what we have now, and we don't like those fees, but this is the best that we have, and the best way to use it is just to use it. So, but we'll in terms of Nuna platform, we'll move to Cardano, or we'll provide the bridge to Cardano as soon as it's possible. It's going to happen really soon. And also, we're looking for other solutions of other blockchains, which may provide, depending on the use case, either more speed, maybe on the expense of less complicated smart contract languages, or let's say less fees. Will Nuna designed network agents be open source when the community is invited to create their own agents? So the answer to this is that it depends on the well, individual choices of people who will design those agents. So the software, let's say software agents which will be running, which Nunet itself will provide the way to run those agents on the community source hardware. So this is kind of very concise way to say what is the primary mandate or primary value of the Nunet platform. Now we can go to, and in the white paper we sort of were trying to predict what kind of agents will be. I mean, we're not trying to predict, but we defined the classes of agents. And so there is one class of agents, so generic AI services or software agents. And those ones will basically, since part of community or AI developer community will provide those agents, it will be their choice to build them either open source or not open source. So Nunet will accommodate ability to do both for the first iterations or for the first part of the development. We will do the open source, because for the proprietary agents it will be in order to allow people to put proprietary code and to log them from the access from the other people. Well, we will build additional features on the platform. I'm personally, and I'm leaning towards open source as well. I prefer open source, not only because it's open source as like free, which not always free actually, but it's simply better. You can build better software which is open source, and it doesn't prevent to, let's say, to monetize it. And this is one of the ideas of Nunet, that we allow to monetize open source code by running it. So one of the things that we are thinking to invite, actually, or for example, on all those platforms like GitHub, GitLab, and others, there is a lot of code which is just written there and it's not used. However, imagine if we could reward people who wrote this code and who contributed this code or contributed to that code to get rewarded depending on how much this code is actually being executed. So that is something that, well, it's not, I mean, that is something that we're looking forward, let's say, in order to get more actual code running on the Nunet. And the aspect that will allow it is not exactly the hardware devices that Nunet will provide will provide access to, because we will not, Nunet will not own the devices, the community will own devices. But the thing that we will provide for that is the payment or the tokenomics mechanisms that will allow to, through the partnership with SingularityNET platform, will allow to reward actual owners of the code or contributors of the code. So yes, I'm very excited to see this development, and I think this is something that the open source community in general, well, maybe it doesn't miss it, but I think it would contribute greatly to to the development of that community, and actually just a better code and better software, which we will need getting closer to the singularity. Software is important. Will Nuna design network agents? Okay, I just answered that. So how does the Singularity DAO Launchpad process works? Please follow the Singularity. We will post the blog post, and as soon as Singularity DAO launches a new blog post about Singularity DAO Launchpad process or anything about that, we will link it to our chat. Otherwise, please follow the Singularity DAO blog. They are publishing the blog posts for that just now. So yeah, please follow the information and the guide which we are publishing. Okay, so I would refer for people who have a lot of technical questions, which are basically at this moment probably the most important. Please refer to this blog post or to the information that will be clearly defined in this blog post, because yeah, I can start saying sort of answering those questions, but I think what we would like to do, we would like to sort of clearly have them in one place so that you could just go there, read it, just few hours maybe before the launchpad opens for the Nunet community round, and simply have a straightforward guidelines how to follow that. So I think that would be the best way to go about it. Will every computation request okay, this is the question about the platform. Will every computation request be processed in a separate Docker container? Keyword isolation. In a container, yes. In a separate, yes, but that container will be able to process many requests depending on how people will build an algorithm. I mean, what is a container? Container is a execution environment. You can say it's a kind of a virtual machine. So the way you build your algorithm, whether it can process things within the container in parallel or not, it depends on how it's written. So, and isolation, well, again, depends on the security requirements and security guarantees that, so Nunet will build the security guarantees on the data exchange level and on the container isolation level. But whether these workflows will allow different calls be executed on parallel and how they will separate these ones, well, that will depend on software developers that will develop a software that Nunet will run. Of course, what Nunet will provide the data about the security guarantees that those algorithms or those containers provide. Well, do you hire remote developers? Do you offer remote internships? Well, I think I will. We are building a team right now, and we will. I mean, so that would be the answer to the question. I will not go deeper to that. I think yes. Will there be an app for Android to allocate unused computation power? Use case phone is idle. Yes. So one of the promises and one of the things that we were looking with Nunet from the very beginning is to use the mobile devices and to put because mobile devices, yes, as we all know, they're pretty powerful computers. So yes, that's the plan to develop this. It will most probably will not be the in the first line. Well, we would like to make it kind of at least in the second line of devices that we will onboard on Nunet. I think that the first line will be GPU clusters, but then again, this depends on the preferences of the community developers, or the preferences of the application developers that will start to develop the applications that will run on Nunet, and we will prioritize these things. Yeah, in principle, yes. We are planning, and not in principle, actually, we are planning to enable not only Android, but basically mobile devices. It has some, it's a different use case, and it's different hardware, and it's a different operating system. And as we know, mobile devices are quite kind of closed. So it will take some time, but we'll get there. I mean, using mobile devices is one of the key propositions of Nunet, because yeah, everybody has them. And okay, there is another thing that I will say about the mobile devices is that while mobile devices, we know that they hold I mean, they're quite powerful. However, there's another thing. We have a lot of sort of data related to those devices, and right now, this data is used by, yeah, basically collected by what's it called? GAFA, the big guys. Now, what we want to do with or we would like to enable, and we will enable based on the architecture, is that we will be able to kind of contribute to the network not only with the computing power, which is on mobile device, but also with the data that is on mobile device. Making sure that this data will be encrypted and will be anonymized via also the Nunet-enabled, let's say, engines or AI engines, or let's say algorithms that will run on the device itself. So the data, the private data, will not even leave the device. And this is something which is related to the mobile phones, but it's also related to wearables and to, yeah, let's say health wearable devices. And this is a use case which we are looking forward to enable with Nunet, and also with the partners, with the projects within the SingularityNET ecosystem. I believe that the inability of the current infrastructure to anonymize and to encrypt data on the devices, which we will enable and which we are aiming to enable, is one of the reasons why we do not see the kind of, why the promise of IoT yes, kind of didn't happen. And so we are looking very much into these use cases to enable them. What is the reason you choose Cardano blockchain to create projects? And why did you choose to establish a decentralized network project, and mention the advantages your project has? And mentions the obstacles. So we chose Cardano blockchain based on the general, I mean, for several reasons. One reason is that we are integrated in SingularityNET platform, and we are building based on that. So SingularityNET chose to partner with Cardano, or to let's say, well, not switch exactly, but to integrate to the Cardano blockchain. more closely. And since we are integrated in the SingularityNET platform, we are basically doing that and also enabling that. For the other reasons, there was just a question, just a few questions ago. We don't like fees. The third thing is that Bluetooth smart contract language and in general the architecture that it allows much more. Now, saying much more is a kind of simplification, because usually you have certain things that I mean, you have trade-off. So yeah, but these are the reasons, and meaning that we will Cardano will enable certain things that the Ethereum doesn't enable, and the other way around. And then by introducing more choice, we're introducing more options for the community members to enable, or for the multi-sided marketplace members, platform members, to enable the workflows. And we chose Cardano as the first one to go, and we actually not actually the first, because we're minting our tokens both on Ethereum and Cardano, and because our Nuna token is a cross-chain, so we are not specifically, or I mean by default, associated with any blockchain. Obstacles. One of the obstacles, which we will I don't think that we will ever sort of overcome, is the speed of light, and this is obstacle for basically for the decentralized computing in such, because I mean the bigger distance between devices which have to communicate between each other, the more time it takes to communicate, and that is sort of defined by speed of light. I think it's the limited speed of light. I will not go further than that. I mean, let's consider that we will not bridge it. So yeah. So this is an obstacle. However, there are more than enough use cases which can work better on a decentralized. Well, that's not an obstacle, but this is why we are building Nuna. It can work much better when they're decentralized and work in parallel, and the communication between those processes is limited enough so that you can make the computing process more optimized, rather than putting all the computing into one place where you just make it faster, let's say. And this is related to the fact that we will be using mobile phones, or basically decentralized devices, which will hold different data on them. And the Nunet will not require for the all data to come into one place in order to calculate this. From the basically, this is a very basic computer, on the computer science level, let's say. But we're building based on those principles, and the goal is to enable protocols and APIs to support this, the decentralized workflows. I would say that, I mean, the centralized or the big data centers will not disappear. They will be needed always. What will Nunet provide is ability for the algorithms or for the compute processes semi-automatically. When the AI DSL will be, I mean, I think that now we have it. There is a different name maybe coming, but when the AI DSL or the language of AI agents to communicate with hardware, when it will be developed to a certain level, software or AI engines, so the algorithms, will be able to choose the best hardware for them to work, and this is what Nunas will provide as a metadata and information exchange level, so that algorithms will be able to find the best place to run themselves And that best place, depending on the use case, may be a large data center. So they will not disappear anywhere, because from the computationally it may make sense. I think I will try to make it slightly faster. Maybe I will try to find questions which are related to our long-awaited events tomorrow. What is the utility of the NTX token? Is it just a coin we will use to buy cloud computing power, or is there something else? Well, so that is one of the kind of uses that can be, that Nuna token will enable, but just relating to the, well, that's not exactly related to the community contribution round, but so it's related to that question about what's the difference between Nunet and the current cloud computing environments. Is that NTX token will, it's not just that people will be able to buy computing resources. The NTX token will be, as a utility token, it will enable the settlement of transactions between all the platform constituents, as we call them, or the the supply side participants, in the sense that when an application will issue a call to compute something, application, not a person. It may be that a person will need to do that, but that's not the main use case. It's automatic. Application will issue an API call which will access Nunet. Nunet will provide access to the devices which are onboarded on Nunet, and then this application will pay to those devices depending on what kind of prices they will set in the marketplace. So Nuna token will be used for settling all those transactions and to calculate the actual amount of cost of all the transactions. But it also will include not only the devices, but also, I mean, when you do the for making a computational workflow, to execute a computational workflow, you need algorithm. You need, of course, first of all, you need the call from the user of the form of the application. Then you need an algorithm that you're calling. Then you need the hardware on which the algorithm runs. And most of the times, you need data, which is used for that. So what Nuna token will do, it will settle all the prices of all those sites, and then distribute based on, let's say, gateways, because all these sites may use different tokens. So Nuna token will be used for calculating the overall price and settle it, and then to distribute the whatever prices were set for this for a particular workflow based on the gateways. So, and that is the main kind of utility aspect of the Nuna token. For the hardware providers, they will be contributed directly via NTX token. However, suppose we are looking to onboard distributed computing frameworks, other distributed computing frameworks, which use other tokens, which means we will provide the ability to reward them, or to pay basically to them by the gateways between Nuna token and the token that is used by those devices. But Nuna token will be used to calculate the overall price or cost of the computational workflows with all the parties, with software, hardware, data, etc. Okay, so I think I will try to find something. When can we buy Nuna tokens on exchanges? So I will say now that we will the Nuna token it will be possible to to exchange it on the DEX immediately after launch, which is after 26th of November. So one thing that is slightly related, I think I will kind of pre-announce the things that we will make it much more clear in detail that when the token will when the claiming period will start on the November 26th, and when contributors will be the token Nuna token will start to be distributed. We will also at the same moment we will enable the staking solutions for the Nuna token through the Singularity DAO. Through Singularity DAO, yeah, it's not Launchpad, but through Singularity DAO via our partnership. So there will be, we are designing right now, and there will be solutions to both exchange tokens for other tokens and to stake them for the rewards. Immediately after those tokens will become available. And we will provide all the details, yeah, in one of the blog posts that is coming. Can you could you describe how we profit from global computing? That's a very broad question, but yeah, I think it may make sense to address it. So basically, if we look at the what's happening is that I mean, a kind of a general trend is that the world needs more and more computing power. So it's quite clear that we simply, I mean, yeah, as I said, the world will need more computing power, and let's say the same thing about the coming, I mean, the trend of building a metaverse, which will just need more computing power. So from the kind of conceptual side, we can see that some time ago we were living in the physical world. Right now we are living more and more in a digital world, pretty much like what we're doing now. I mean, it's I think it's just the beginning, and it only makes sense since we have a lot of computing power scattered around in devices and a lot of times not accessible by simple means. And you have to be, I mean, in order to access, let's say, supercomputer, you have to be, I don't know, either you have to have a lot of money or you have to work at the university, etc. and so on. And also there is a lot of computing power which is just in our devices around. So the way we can profit as a society is to use this as efficiently as possible. And this is what is, let's say, the mission of the platform, to make use of the existing computing power that exists now and that will be built either individually or not individually to make optimal use of all this computing power that we have, which is at the end of the day, it's energy, it's money, it's resources. And if we don't use what we have, we just waste it. And we know that we need those computing power, just the world needs. And of course, if we enable the tokenomics or the economic system based on that, because as you see in our Nunet is economy of decentralized computing. Yes, we use our resources better globally, and that's important. And we want to contribute to that. When it will start to take effect on real-world problems? Can we have some simple examples where Nunet can help on the it will, well, depending on what, I mean, if relating to the previous answer, depending on how global you want to look at it, but it will start to take effect on real-world problems when it will grow big enough, which means when we will enable for the large variety of devices to join Nunet, and when you will join and you will sort of help us to enable you to join the network. So basically, it will start to have a real-world effect when it will grow big. In terms of computing power that we can combine via the Nunet platform. Other plans for future, future plans to build Nuna devices or to sell Nuna devices. Also, what's your thoughts on Helium? Decentralized computing power combined with, so right now there are no plans to build devices because Nunet is one of the main propositions of Nunet is to connect devices which already exist. Therefore, we are not looking to build our own hardware. And I know that, I mean, and this is one of the differences between Nunet and certain frameworks which exist, because when you build your own hardware, it's kind of, well, it's not easy too, but it's to some extent it's more straightforward to build all kind of security system, etc., etc. But yeah, that's not our goal. The goal is to enable people who already have computing devices to utilize them and to make basically the computing power that exists in the world to enable to use it more efficiently. So by building new devices, we kind of not make it. Also, I think that the in terms of growing the network and making change in the world, let's say, it's not a good strategy to start building new devices. I don't want to criticize. Let's say it's one of the ways to do things, but we are not looking at that. Why have you decided to launch on Ethereum instead of waiting for Cardano? Because we are blockchain agnostic. So, which means there's no, now we can say, okay, why do, I mean, we can always wait for something which is better. So it doesn't really make sense. We use the framework that we have now. However, we also look at the next one that is we consider as a step forward. So and also, yeah, that's the reason. And also, we wanted to I mean, we have the technology, and it's a good time to launch and to start the next phase of development. So yes, I don't think that waiting solves much. in this case. Maybe sometimes it does, but having to rate from the best computing power provided to less suitable, how suitable do you see Raspberry Pi 4? Will it be enough computational power to be competitive with the GPU cluster size? Well, it depends on the use case. So the goal is to enable the largest variety of computing devices to join. Now, Raspberry Pi 4, okay, it's sort of not that powerful. However, it's powerful enough to run certain processes, and also the interesting thing was, I mean, let's say Raspberry Pi is an IoT, let's call it IoT device. Now, IoT device is necessarily related to data. So, I mean, competitive, depending what, if let's say we have Raspberry Pis which have, well, I don't know, weather sensors, or some other sensors which you kind of have to combine and maybe anonymize and maybe to pre-process, or maybe cameras, which you have to pre-process on that device and then to send it somewhere else into the network where the network can optimize the further processing, which is pretty much what edge IoT workflow, computing workflow means. Raspberry Pi is something that can be competitive because you need small computing power at the edge, or a lot of small devices at the edge which compute certain things, and then which send data further, and you optimize by sending less data. Now, competitive with GPU clusters, there are things that GPU clusters will do better, like machine learning or whatever. So it depends on the use case, and that's one of the core things that Nuna will be offering, is exactly that ability for the algorithm to choose the optimal hardware to run itself, depending on the data needs, on the processing power needs, on the price of that compute device. So yeah, I cannot compare. It depends. And our goal and our value proposition, let's say, is to enable to choose between variety of options, rather than to say what is more or what is less competitive. And by the way, or not exactly by the way, this is pretty much the angle which makes Nuna different from the established compute providers. That our goal is to increase the options of choice for the, I mean, in this space, in the computing space, for the application developers, for the compute, for hardware owners or compute device providers, for the data, let's say, owners, or we all own data. So yeah, this is our goal, is to provide opportunities rather than to say what's more competitive, what's less competitive, and to enable the ecosystem members to find out the ways to use these options in a most efficient or beneficial way. Will we be able to use Nuna to host web applications? Yes. The nice thing with applications is, I think, one of the questions that was addressed last time. We're running a little bit out of time. Okay, so I think this will be the last question, unless we have questions on the chat. So will we be able to host Nuna to host web applications? So first, Nuna will enable to access web applications which will be running on the devices sourced by the community members from the internet. The interesting thing with this is that in order to do this, you have to go via a kind of centralized point, which is usually IP address of that web application. I mean, of the server where the web application runs. And of course, you have all the content distribution networks, etc., and so on. But one way or another, you have an IP address or the domain address. So the thing is that for sure Nunas will enable that, will be able to that, because web application is just yet another algorithm basically, and the graphical interface is on the browser. So our showcase application, which we built for the private alpha, you can say that this is exactly that. This is browser extension, but browser extension is a web application, right? So it does. The interesting part is how do we decentralize it? How do we enable Nunet, these web applications, to run directly on Nunet, bypassing, let's say, this layer of the IP addresses, which kind of allow to detect the geographical location of servers and to basically control that. And this is one of the things, one of the kind of questions that is being addressed not only by us and by many projects which are building decentralized networks and addressing systems. So yeah, we are planning to take the best. I mean, not to take in a sense that to steal from somebody, but to take the best from the system and to integrate into Nunet so that we would enable to basically to decentralize internet to its original promise. Let's say this way. And I think that would be the good way to finish the MAA. Thanks a lot for participating, and looking forward to meet you. Looking forward for your participation tomorrow in the community contribution round. And as talked, we will inform. We will solve our sort of technical issues with the distributing emails, or rather their technical issues of distributing emails. So we will inform about that as soon as possible. Now, yeah, the last thing, as you probably noticed, we rebalanced our contribution pools on Sunday based on your. Yeah, I already noticed. I already mentioned few minutes ago that what we did. During the KYC process, we asked community members or people who would like to contribute to participate in the contribution round to indicate whether they would like to participate with stable coins, with USDT tokens, or with wrapped Ether. And we were expecting that much more people will participate with wrapped Ether, based on the experience of Singularity DAO. But we got only, I think, 11% of participants wishing to participate with wrapped Ether, and we decided to rebalance the pools. I mean, rebalance from the things that we indicated in our original blog post, to rebalance the pools in order to make opportunities as equal as possible. And this was announced on Sunday. So I hope that you appreciate the move to make this event as fair as possible for all community members. So looking forward for tomorrow. we will be open, and the chat will be open to communicate and to help you go through the process. We will be posting the guides and the blog post, and we will be sending the information as soon as we enable that. For sure, you will get all the information before the event. Once more, the community contribution round opens tomorrow, November 17, 13:00 UTC. Looking forward, and thanks for participating, and good luck. So see you next time. Thanks for staying with us and supporting. Bye.
And it's a wrap.